So I'm starting here looking at my building because I just got spooked, not by Scientology. It's the reason I have my video, the name that I have it.
Word about your situation today?
Ah, it's doing it to me again. You know, and I should know to do this, and I don't. There we go. Okay. I wasn't connected because I am a doofus. So here come all of the notifications. Brain dangerous. Hold on. Is anybody here yet? Hi, Fuzz. So, I'm here. I have no clue what's going on this weekend because I assumed it was for Pride, but Pride's not till the end of the month. So, okay, since Papa Cat is here, I can say why the title says what it is, because I don't have my ringer on and I wasn't paying attention because Dad takes all of my attention. I get here to San Francisco and see a voicemail from an old friend who lives on the east, who lives in East, and her name starts with a P. I freak out, having figured she's gonna call me to tell me somebody died. No, somebody's graduating. So, but that's when you know you're old. You think that someone you haven't talked to in a few years is calling you, and you think, oh my God, someone's dead. I swear to God, we are so weird in this world. So I hope you didn't send me an email. I'm trying to get better at them. Da 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 da. You figured the sparkling in the hair would just get their attention. So yes, I had a very interesting lunch with my dad. It was actually cool. I seem to know where I get a lot of my views from my weird Republican military dad. He's definitely a centrist. So, I just love this. Well, they've got to know. So let's go see if the other ones are done yet. So, welcome to the beautiful day in the neighborhood. Left my reading glasses at home, but I have a pair in the car that I carry around all the time, which my dad teased me about, that I didn't have the right glasses. And my cat hair all over me. Go figure, I have a long-haired cat. So, welcome to the cult of Aaron. I was watching things this morning and people being upset. Why does AF even give a damn about us? It's like, I thought we were the redheaded stepchildren. So, yes, I will make an altar in the back of my car, and we'll have some sitting on the bumper, having a meeting when I hit 1,000. I like that. How's that for bribery? I hit 1,000. Me and Papa Cat will sit there with a. It's like, I wonder if they really do watch me. Let's see if they show up. With our tea towels, and I gotta get globes, and we'll have a prayer meeting. That is legitimate as the Scientology crap, isn't it? So, when I hit 1,000, isn't that a good bribe? I think so. Well, they don't. Well, maybe they're not watching me. Maybe nobody's gotten the, like, interesting thing yet. What does that say? Something for better living. I want to say Kratom International. Let's see. Can we zoom in on it? There we go. So, this is what it says. I don't know, my gimbal's doing some following stuff. Anybody can, I'll go in the one below it, where you can see the scanner thingy. Let's see what else is here. They're gonna see me eventually, don't you think? I mean, how can you miss this? It's like the glitter and stuff. The hair is coming off today, that's for sure. They've got a ton of these boxes. So what is it? Is this the pamphlet things, you think? You're gonna do what? I don't even remember what I said to you. Oh, when I hit 1,000, you're gonna come join me on the bumper of the monster, and we're gonna have an altar set up for Aaron so we can worship. We have to have tea towels and spatulas. I know you know what a tea towel is. Your mother's Scottish. So, let's see. Let's get nosy while we can. Can we see through there? Let's see that. Down. Right there. What does that say? Is it interesting? Premier benefactors, Jimmy something, Mark Hess. Oh, let's see if we see any like big shots from the city. Founding members, Richard Robinson, Bob and Beth Fitzgerald. This should all be public anyway, so it doesn't matter if I'm reading their names. So it starts with founding members, then humanitarian. Wow, that's an oxymoron. With honor, and then humanitarian. God, that just sounds gross when you mention, you know, Scientology and humanitarian. Premier benefactors, Vanguard Club, member with, I think it says box, Vanguard Club members and alumni. Let's see. Can I get closer? Can't even see what I'm doing. Okay, there's that. Are we focusing into there? They're not watching my stream today. That's pretty good. I like that. Can't even see a damn thing. Darn. See if I can read them. Sharon, Tosca, Kieran and Donna O'Leary, Valen and Lauren Cross. These are humanitarian with honors. I can't see. See, founding members, Richard Robinson, Bob and Beth Fitzgerald, Joanne and Randy Yamada, Linda and Steve something, Dewey and something. Our founding member, Carolyn and Kirk Youngman, and the reflection sucks. So, there we go. Oh, duh, they're going to close the door on me anyway. So I might as well make my presence known. Hi, people. Is there anybody there? I don't see anybody there. Maybe we can do this. Let's see. Now I have a purpose. And it's still, the reflection still sucks. Chris and Sue Mueller, Elizabeth Roberts, Danny and Aileen Beltran. Those are benefactors. I don't see any like local name here. I'm looking. Now I'm just reading them to myself so I can see if I see any like well-known names or San Francisco names here. Which is a good thing if you think about it, that there are no San Francisco names here. I know I'm whispering. I don't want to go through until I look at these things. Mike's Julie and Paul Sons, Craig Fairbanks, Elliot and Sarah Martin, Carlo and Raffaella Hachi. I'm just reading them all over the place so I get them in before they realize realize I'm here. The alumni, those are the smallest ones. Does that mean they've passed on if they're alumni? Still don't see a well-known San Francisco society name, so that's good. Well, from what I remember, we don't have a society page anymore, so that was interesting. Hi, Fluff. Wow, I have my 2 good luck charms today. I like that. And yes, Fluff, I saw something about my sources because I was going over my email, and I saw I have to make my playlist and I have to send you sources, which will get easier now that I'm starting to pay attention when I'm starting to get things and not just memory. So they are not paying attention to me today. They didn't follow me to lunch either, so I am a red-headed stepchild today, which is fine with me. I'm used to, what do you think I learned the phrase from growing up in Oakland my whole life? Chris and Sue Mueller, I think I said that, Barry and Tina, something. Unibets? I don't know. Will Weaver, Richard something. So yeah, that's what I see. Time to get them to pull it up. Actually, I don't even think there's anybody back here. What does that say? Our current stay well phase of operation is 7. I wonder what that means. Stay well phase of operation. It's so funny that nobody is back here. Is there anybody in this org besides the person up front? At least I'm not touching their, like, you know. Oh, they're doing a muster, I bet. No, they don't know I'm here. That person, there's a person at the desk, and they are turned away from me, so they don't know I'm here. I'm being ignored. Hi, sitting on the fence. I can actually get your cups of coffee. Send me a cup of coffee. My gas tank needs it. This hobby gets expensive. And I've always called protesting hobbies. Aw, you figured me out. That took a long time, though. I've been here, standing here for about 5 minutes. So I got to read your founder board. Too bad. Oh, I'm so sorry that you're upset. Oh, God knows that you should have somebody who can think deep thoughts so you don't get in trouble. But the door's still open. And I'm not violating any rules since it's not a religion, or I'm not in your way because you can't hear me past the vestibule. That's why you had to take the sign down. So, you know, like I always say, you can pull yourself out of the credit hole. All you have to do is start communicating with your credit agencies, and they'll help you pay it off so you can come out here and be part of the real world, because the fake world is rather expensive, don't you think? And you're not paying the same amount that anybody else is paying because it's all about what you can afford. So you're not allowed to ask questions, and that's probably one of the reasons why. So you should start working on getting out of that cash hellhole, because you're going to want to be. Eventually it's going to fall apart, and eventually they will take the money and run, and in my opinion. And eventually the FBI will like invade you guys, in my opinion. And eventually you're going to get dinged for all that taxes that you've managed to avoid for at least 10 years. Because boy, is the IRS going to want their money back. Because everybody who has gotten in trouble with the IRS and that crap before probably is retired by now. So, and I'm sure they probably like tried to make sure that nobody was hired without a good reason, without a bad background. So, because it is easy to find people that don't have any smears on their lives, especially in the internet age, because all they do is sit on the internet. So, if I was you guys, I'd be slightly careful that you're going to get busted. Life is but a bitch. Hi, Lisa Love. My sister from another mister at this point, since we can relate on the wrong thing. So don't you wish you were out here enjoying yourself, trying to avoid getting a sunburn in San Francisco? Can you believe that? It's so weird. You know, I know you guys have lots of tourists, but you know, when I'm in the front, They just talk about you guys and maybe the real world sacrificing babies. And I told them nobody does that anymore. Am I about to get busted? Nope. See? I know somebody who works in the police department. So, and he's funny. So people like him. Isn't that but a bitch? So anyway, and I know you guys all cuss like sailors because supposedly you are in the fake space navy. Is it Davies Fake Space Navy, I think it's called? Oh, here comes someone. I can see them coming. I can see them coming. They're going to close the door. Oh, no, they walked away. Oh, they walked in the other direction. They're afraid of me. I don't have horns and a tail because I don't believe in the devil. So there you go. All I'm telling you is that you can get out of here and you can disconnect from Scientology and fix your credit at the same time. I can be that credit guy on television, except I can tell you how to really do it. Go to the library, sign on under fake account that you need to make to be able, they won't follow you. Don't do it at home unless you got a VPN. So make sure you go someplace public. Hell, even at a Pete's, ask if you can borrow someone's computer and tell them what's going on. You never know, they may lend it to you. And then go on and find out how much you really owe, because if you're in the Sea Org, you're not getting your mail. And if you're a public, you're probably ignoring it because you were told to. So you go on there, you go to the credit agencies that you owe or the credit cards. You can find out what your credit limit is, which is probably far than you ever believed. You probably have credit cards out in your name that you never know or knew about. And you should find out what the address is on these credit cards, because it could be like the Blue Building or P Flag. So I have to make room for my UPS guy. He's a nice guy. So I don't bug him. I try not to bug the delivery people because it's not their fault I'm standing out here. Oh, and they have this one open. This is that notorious one that will go out, window that will go to the atrium. Have a good weekend. See, he leaves the door open for me. Oh, he even pulled it back a little bit. And you can't change your delivery people. I'm sorry. So yeah, get a hold of your credit agencies. Find out how much you owe. Find out if any of your credit cards are in active business, because since... Oh, that's Carrie. That's fine, Carrie. You can be late. They always say, it's such a hippie phrase, whenever you're there, it's not late. And I have to turn around and see you at 5:30. I keep asking because, of course, I forget. So I have to get my hair done before, my haircut before that. So anyway, yes, you go to the credit agencies, you find out how much you owe, or you go to the credit card companies and you find out how many credit cards you have for real and what their credit limits are, because they're probably worse than you ever thought because you cut them up a long time ago, and find out if they're active. So there's got to be some kind of BS way that they're paying off the credit cards too, so they aren't overdone. You know, think about that. There's probably some kind of weird ass money laundering way by paying off people's, you know, credit cards so they can make more money off of it. I know it's not probably done by the Scientology person because they can't afford it. The public and the Sea Org. The public has to work another job. So, and they're paying what they can afford, because that's what, you know, Lord God King Bufu said. So you get a hold of the credit agencies, you find out how much you owe, and then you negotiate with them. You tell them at first to close those cards, period. Unless you have a reoccurring payment on it, then you put it on another card. They'll help you get a card with a very low balance. That way you can do your subscription prices of things you have, like, you know, a membership on YouTube, or a membership on TikTok, or you send somebody a cup of coffee every month, which I do to our favorite tour guide in London. You know, stuff like that. And then you get it arranged and you start paying off these credit cards, because if you're a public, you're still working another job. So that means you can send them the W-2 and tell them why you can't pay them. Weirdly enough, the agencies, the collection agencies, the credit card companies will all understand, because they still have to employ people to call you to tell you that you suck. And so it's cheaper for them to get a cut rate off of their payment back than it is to hire people somewhere else to call you. So you get a hold of the agencies, you negotiate a payoff, you cut off your credit cards, and then you start doing that. I give it probably a week before Scientology gets on your butt about your credit cards being closed. Because, of course, they have all of your information, so they're able to open credit cards under your name. So that's why you want to go and get your FICO score, because then it'll attach a credit report to it, and you'll see what you owe, what cards you have, and how much they are limited. And you get to find out how much you really owe these people. So you guys are paying taxes. I don't know about the Sea Org, but the publics are paying taxes and working as a volunteer to an organization that doesn't pay taxes and will want all their money back if you leave. And I mean, the coursework, it's not for free. Like they always said, nothing's free. So they're going to want their money back. And you can tell them that if you leave Scientology altogether, you don't have to pay it because it's not enforceable. I don't think anybody would allow Scientology to do that because you're trading the volunteer time for the education. And that's what it can be called, as a trade-off. So you go online, you find out how much you owe, you find out where the credit cards are, you get a hold of all the institutions. You should have a bank account because everybody has a bank account. If they're telling you not to have a bank account, a bank will take $25 to open a bank account. And you can keep it from there. And that's a good place to start too. So once you close all these credit cards and other things, you try to open a bank account or even a debit card, which is like an ATM card, but it can be treated as a MasterCard or a Visa. And it'll be based on what you have on that card. It's a great way to start rebuilding your credit. I would know. I'm the one who went from negative, if they could possibly do it, to the highest one there is, which makes my husband very annoyed because he's always been good and his credit score is lower than mine. It's possible. So you can do it. Anybody tells you you can't do it, they're lying, because I've done it. I even helped buy a house 3 years ago. So that would have never been considered before all this. It took a while, and it took me like being really like grumpy with the fact that I didn't have any kind of like credit or credit card. And it actually works. So if you want to get out of here and they're holding your credit against you, or that you'll owe them or whatever, freeloader is not enforceable and you can build your credit up from zero. So you might want to look at that. I don't think Ghost is watching me today. That's the problem. Hold on, let me see. Coffee, yes. Coffee is a good plan. Let me see. Yes, dead air. Yes. So we're going to go see Carrie Ann at 5:30. Even if I'm getting my haircut because they're friends, because she's a friend, I'll just turn it on and go, I have to listen to it. It's one of my people. Yeah, that's why they don't turn on the you notice they don't have the speaker on me. They don't have the speaker on me when I talk about credit or education. Yeah, zero to Xenu, yes. Oh, no face. Hi, no face. So we got the credit thing down. Now work. What you want to do is go to a placement agency. They don't care about your education. They don't care about if you've gone to college. They'll put you where you're appropriate to begin with. And since you guys know a lot of stuff that's administrative, people still do need data entry and secretaries and assistants and personal assistants because AI just ain't working. So they still want people who know to push papers. And that's what you guys probably do very, very well. And you're very, very motivated to have the hours that you keep. So you go to a placement agency. They will give you tests to see where you are. And if they like you, they'll place you. And once they place you, if the person or a company you're placed with likes you, they are under, like, they have to have you a year before they can take you. But if they like you really a lot, they will buy them out. And sometimes you get a bonus when you're bought out because it's like they found something they were looking for. And since they were going through a placement agency, they didn't have to have a huge, like, interest in it. So you can wind up with a real job, starting level even, which pays a lot more because it's San Francisco and the Bay Area, and one of the most expensive places to live in the country. And you can work up from there. I started at a placement agency when I was 18 years old. I still haven't graduated from high school. I wound up being a administrative assistant, personal assistant to 2 VPs before I stopped working 9 to 5. So even without an education, and they knew it, and they thought it was fun, because they say, see, you don't have to be educated to get a good job. And at the time, I think it was year 2002, I was making $48,000 a year. I'm sure adjusted for inflation, I'll find out that and tell you tomorrow, but it's still enough to have roommates instead of other people banked up with you in bunk beds. So you can get out of there and get a good job, and honestly, you can work at McDonald's and work your way up from there. They like hiring inside for managers. So I also worked at McDonald's. Pain in the ass, but you know what? They love promoting inside to prove that it's a good corporation. So you can start a placement agency, you can go to McDonald's, you can wind up, fixing your life because they tell you that you can't, I'm sure. I'm glad that wasn't for me, because you know me, if you sicked the fire department on me, I'd be very upset. So anyway, and you could even start at some place called Amazon Turk, which is online, and you can do goofy things like find the $5 lettuce on the grocery receipt. And you can start from there, and you know what? There are a lot of companies who do the menial task work they send to MT Turk. And you could get probably placed with that, because you guys have the, not motivation, but you have the focus to do very well in administrative duties. And then you can go to college if you really want to. You can start in Oakland. Laney College is giving away college for free. So that's an AA, associates. And then you can go on to a university, and probably with what's going on and nationality and everything else, there's a 3-inch book that's called scholarships. It's not just for people who are graduating from high school. They will everybody gives a scholarship. Hell, it's like the Boy Scouts give a $50 scholarship for something. You don't have to go for the big ones, and you can apply for more than one scholarship. So I had friends, since I grew up in Oakland, that piled on every scholarship they could get their paws on so they could go to college, because it's always been relatively expensive, especially if you don't qualify for poverty and your parents aren't rich. So as usual, the people in the middle are the ones who have to work at it. So you go look up, it still exists. I just saw it the other day. So the scholarship book still exists itself, but you could probably go online for like a website for getting scholarships. Whoop whoop. 90K. Yeah, so what I made back in 2002 equals to 90K today. So I never not made enough money to live with roommates. So, but starting with a placement agency without an education, when people told me I couldn't. So if you don't have an education, you can still get a job. It doesn't matter. All you have to do is pass these tests, and then a placement agency, as good as you guys all are, because you're probably completely focused, you can go to a placement agency and they'll give you a job within a couple of weeks to start out at. Hell, my first job, they called me the next day. So, and this was the 80s, it's like they give you simple tests to take, administrative, like the equivalent of like a CPA. So it's like money, and then it's like documents. And as long as you can do all that, and I'm sure you guys can, because you're getting the best training on the planet, and the publics only sign small contracts to work for these guys. So when your contract is up, you can stop working for these guys and still play Scientologist and get a real job and pay off your credit. And if they run your credit at a placement agency, you just tell them what's going on, and you'd be surprised how many companies, people, businesses forgive that you were stuck in a bad place. The only thing usually nobody forgives is heroin addiction. So as long as you're not a heroin addict, all the places will understand if you tell them the truth. I've always been straight up with my employers. That's why they all knew I hadn't graduated from high school. So you go to a placement agency, you do your tests, you get placed, And then you get to see the fighting going on because your agency will like you and the business will like you. And then you wind up getting paid more than the average human because you have the focus and motivation of a ex-Scientologist. So get your life on the road. Credit, which you can do at the library. And if you do things like this at the library, when you leave your web thingy, you go to settings, history, and clear. And then nobody will ever know you existed. But the very first thing is to get a duplicate or a fake account. They call it fake accounts, but I've got 3 that I've used for 20 years. So Gmail, Yahoo, whatever you can find. Gmail is easiest and it's free. So you get that account set up, then you go to the library and you find out what the hell's going on, because you can't do this at home. Do not do this at home, because the club probably has your computers tagged. They probably have some kind of weird program in it, and unless you know what you're doing with the computer, you won't be able to find it. And you all can also go to EFF.org and they'll show you they'll help you with making your technology personalized just for you, because EFF stands for Electronic Frontier Foundation, and they are very much into the human freedom from the internet buttheads. That's what I used to say. I actually have friends in EFF, so I know. It's about being here near the internet age and everything else, and the fact that it's San Francisco, where we've been protesting actively since 1968. So, and they've also don't like people looking at their stuff. So you can go to EFF and see if you can take all those tags off your computers and phones. If it's their phone, don't mess with it. Get a burner. So you start all of this like that. You get your Gmail, then you go to your library, then you fill, while you're fulfilling your contract, you get all of this started straightened out and going. You fulfill your contract, you leave, you go to a placement agency, and you're running really good. And brain fog told you, so please acknowledge me in 10 years when you're all out of here and happy. So that is my public service announcement for the day. Thank you for not turning the speaker on, freaks. You notice, no speaker. I actually saw somebody walk up to the door and stop and turn around. 2 people actually stopped and turned around, but I wasn't talking the first time. The second time was a gold vest, and they stopped and they turned around and walked away. So they didn't turn the Bluetooth on me. So you have to do it really hard, and I think there's like a shoestring involved, and you have to be starving in the Arctic, avoiding polar bears. That's how you rub 2 strings together. So yes, you would be surprised how many things are in your back end. That's funny. Excuse me, I've got net nannies up my butt. Oh, how do I get rid of them? They're worse than Thetans. That door handle was open about 1.5 inches. They never close the door, but I've noticed that when I talk about ways to get out of here, they don't turn up the music and they don't close the door. So one of their higher upper people who believe in Scientology is going to have to do that, because the publics that are working on volunteers and maybe the Sea Orgs that have had too much, they are listening to me. So that's why I said it'll take about 10 years for all of this to work. But they'll always be in a position where they can live and not have to eat ramen, because the placement agencies, trust me, they loved me because I knew computers for anybody else. I loved doing data work. So I had a real job within 3 months. So, and that was the thing my bosses always complained about if I went through a placement agency, is that they had to pay their agency off to get me. And nobody ever thought about me working it a year. They'd pay them off. So, thank you, Sitting on Defense. Will I zoom out? Oh, I'm zoomed in? I'm sorry. Hell, I didn't answer my phone and I thought that a friend had died. Okay, now I'm zoomed out. Thank you. Thank you, Carrie Ann. I know, that had to be a little weird then if I was zoomed in. No dogs today, though. That, and I forgot to look to see Oh, that was weird. I forgot to look to see what's going on this weekend because there's something going on this weekend that they, I thought it was Pride, but Pride is never the first weekend. That's what I was looking up to see what was wrong. It wasn't. Pride's still at the last weekend of the month, which I now have, was it 26 days to try to figure how to get, all I want is a bunch of sisters here. Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. Look them up. They're awesome. But it's the nuns with beards. That's what we call them. And they are actually a they give money to other things. They're a fundraising group, and they've been around since the dawn time. So yes, Zoom go bye-bye. So it's like I would love to have a bunch of sisters who are dressed up like nuns. They have beards. They have lots of face paint on, and they have these really funky mantuas and platforms. So they're all about 6.5 feet tall. So I don't know a sister, and I haven't for years, but I got the idea at World Goth Day when I saw a sister roaming around the Hornet. Which sucks, because I would love, do you know how much they would love to protest here? And I'm not probably the only one in these groups who would know their cop, the same cop I know, so I've got to think hard. Maybe I'll have to go to club on Mondays. Interesting. See, we've all got old. We don't do burlesque. I didn't do the burlesque. My friends did. Don't do the burlesque. Don't do the cheerleaders anymore. Don't go to, we go to the parade, the ones who can handle being in the sun. You know, we've all gotten old, basically. We partied our butts off, cleaned up, then partied some more, and now we're just like, wow. Do you know the internet rocks? The easiest way to put it. The internet rocks. Oh, and Carrie Ann. Oh, you would love it. When I was asking my dad when he's going to Portland, he's still giving me a vague idea. I don't think he wants me going to downtown. That's why he's not telling me probably till a week before he leaves. I was telling him about soda, and he just sort of like, he paid attention for a half second about how big is this cat, because I said, I want to meet soda. I'm trying to get him in it. He admitted it again that he worries about me when I'm out. But farther on in the conversation, I think I've dispelled the worry from him finally. And it's funny when someone like that is worried for you, because you never know who's following me. That could be a legitimate 3-letter acronym. So, and I even told him that I had thrown him out there to the wolves about him working for a 3-letter acronym that worked for another 3-letter acronym. So, and he didn't give me shit for it. So that's a good thing. So yes, he retired working for, I'm not sure which 3-letter acronym. And it's one of the reasons I think they don't bother me. That is, yes, we should worship with ASL with that. And I call him, I've always called him ASL since I stopped wanting to say Aaron all the time. I haven't seen the bit for real. Papa Cat's going to show it to me because I know I'd love it, because it's from the same era of all of those guys, the Good Burger guys. Me and the BFF used to do the hip swivel for Good Burger. And one of them was Bad Obama. So I would love if somebody, I should look that up on YouTube, see if anybody's got like a compilation of Bad Obama, because I missed him. He was so cool. That's someone realizing they just, didn't have the light, so they were slowing down. Oh, chocolate short-haired lab. Oh my God. I wish I had a truffle. So yes, we need commandments. I'm just not as funny as I used to be, because I could write commandments. Because I saw Feral Cheryl today, and I agree with her. It's like, why are you wasting your time with us? We're funny, okay? And she has been on there for a long time, and she legitimately has permission to say anything she wants about them. You know what I mean? Nobody should be questioning her. They should give her paws off of her. But it was just, I've been a nun since 2017, and I'm thinking, I've known nuns since I was little. But yeah, she rocked it, and she said the right question. Why do they care? And after all this time, 6 months already, it's like a year, it's like, Get off ASL's ass. You know, he wants to have a life. You're not going to, at this point, you're not going to make him have a nervous breakdown and turn to drugs. It just ain't going to work. So they need to just back off. Wow. So I always have to ask this question. Do you miss your kids? Kids? Wow. Have you left any kids behind? If you have, they're not happy with you. The kids always forgive, so you better get your butts on the phone and talk to them. In English. Not pseudo gibberish. Do you miss your family? Your chosen family. Because we all know that nobody likes their family anymore. And the ones that do, you're jealous of. Because I am. Even though I have my dad. He is my stepdad, though. So, but I'm just like him. So, the only thing I was not like was about the political thing. So, and when I became a tree hugger when I was 17, that was worse. Don't you wish you were out here at the beach, staring down at the waves, freezing your butt off because the ocean is 58 degrees and it doesn't really change? We don't get a warm stream here. We're not anywhere else in the country. We're San Francisco and the north. Might as well be sitting there doing the SCTV. God, what was it? Rick Moranis. The Acts. Wasn't there moose involved? Moose. Hey, Fuzz. Moose. So, do you miss your friends? Do you miss your family? Do you wish you were hanging out with them instead of sitting there having to sell useless books? And don't you hate it if you don't understand one of the useless books, you can't ask questions because you'll get in trouble? Most likely the reason you can't ask any questions is because the person next to you isn't paying the same amount you are. Because LRH's dogma was charge them what they can afford. And he didn't believe in fundraising too. I heard the little one's the one who changed that dogma. I thought you weren't even allowed to modernize his dogma, and then the little one goes out and does everything. Wow, the ghosts really like that one. They're really pushing the things aside. So, do you really want to listen to the little one who updated the dogma and didn't even do it correctly? You should probably go back to LRH, because at least then his dogma was pure and it was coming from where his brain was. So his wasn't even washed like all of your guys'. His was the original brain. Airplane, the heart on the desk. That's all I'm thinking of. So yeah, the little one's changed your dogma. He's made it what it shouldn't be. And you're following it, even though you shouldn't. But it's more gibberish than it even was to begin with. I've seen those passages that were updated. They're weird. And the whole semicolon thing. I thought I dreamt that. You can always call 727-266-5797. The SPTVFoundation.org will help you get out. If I find one of you behind my car, I will ask you a couple of questions and I will take you home and start the process. Because you need to get out and stop thinking about money all the time. Considering that's like money is a bad thing, but that's all you have to think of it when you're in the org. So what do you do when you're public and you go home from your shifts? What do you do then? Because all you're allowed to do supposedly is just the coursework. So you can't read a book, even though reading banned books is healthy and good for you. Thank you, Fluff. It's like, yeah, someone should just put the number occasionally so I can remember. I remembered it yesterday when I thought, at this point, I don't think he was homeless or slightly off. I have a feeling he was put there, but when I made up waves and stuff, he went away, which has always been my dogma when I grew up in Oakland. You make noise, they don't want to deal with you. They can go find someone else who doesn't make noise. So, but I have a feeling he was put there because I swear to God he went through the building. So every time they try, I just go like, whatever. So, which I explained to my dad. So I told him it was safe here. And it is safe here. Freaking Lawyers Row. So don't you want to be somewhere else than right now? Wow. Yeah. If LRH can travel time, why can't you guys travel time? Why do you have to work your whole life to the bone and then you're not going to be able to travel time next time? And then the next time you're born, you won't remember you did this. That's sort of stupid. Yes, I'm panting. I'm so parched. When I get a dog, when I'll say I'm thirsty and I want a coffee, I'll just bring the dog up to the speaker or the microphone. So, take a good look at your dogma. Take a good look at when it's been changed. I'm sure that somebody in your family, if not you yourself, have other copies of other copyrights that you can look at and compare pages to. Because I also know that you guys, even when you leave, you're not throwing them out. Lord knows, try to find something on eBay now and it's costing a fortune. So, and who knows where those people get it from. One was a real bookseller, so it got sold to him. So it's sort of like when something's not in fashion, you go to eBay and you get it hella cheap. You go a year later and it costs 10 times what you thought it should cost. I did say freaks. Why are Scientologists boneless? I don't have a sense of humor anymore. I really don't. The brain fog takes care of that. That's why I don't really talk to people. I still don't get it. It's a boneless religion, quote unquote. See, Papa Cat, I'll get home and Papa Cat will explain it to me 3 different times. So see, the ghosts are working on my side again because they're the ones who keep opening the doors. So they agree that you should leave. And you can't really escape the ghosts out here because, 1906. I'm sure if you believe in ghosts, they're everywhere. Probably more than thetans. Even though it doesn't sound very plausible to have thetans floating through the air without it looking murky. So maybe that's what the smog's all about lately. Our smog is really bad today. So maybe it's just a bunch of thetans looking for places to, inhabit. It's possible. Hello, Selma, complicated last name. What is it with you guys in the Netherlands? That's awesome. We get Netherlands. It's hilarious. I love it. I'm sorry, no face. Yeah, and this is me talking slower. And I've got 10 minutes left on my parking meter, even though it's real close to me right now, but still, because it'll keep me on track. I did spend an extra 20 minutes with my dad, but it was worth it. Then I got to run home and go to my friends to get my haircut, and then I have to be back home, or I'll watch it on my phone and make Papa Cat watch it, Carrie Ann's 1,000 hours, or 1,000 people. 3,000 hours. So, gotta watch that. And maybe we'll get a soda. See, I can't keep up with you, No Face. I'm not used to your humor yet. I hate that. It's like when I get used to someone's humor, they disappear. I don't know. So, now that I'm talking about dogma again, you should go through your own archive and find out what the apology from the archive before that was for. He supposedly had a big meeting about this semicolon. So, even though most of you guys are rather intelligent, because that's how they get people into organizations like that, get them when they're having bad time. So you would understand where to put a period or a comma if there's a semicolon laying around all over the place. I mean, we did all go through that phase where semicolons and parentheses, which I still use, and the other thing were very common and used a lot because people were learning English in the 80s. Okay, so Selma. Okay, bye, Selma. What was she doing? I see. I'm confused. I read part of it. An appreciation round. Okay. Yay! So, no, that's cool. Actually, more people should do that. I've gotten better about going to see other people. Because, when I get home, I'm getting my stamina up, but yeah, no fundraising. That's why I said, the no fundraising, and somebody brought it up along the way that the little one changed the dogma that it was okay to fundraise. So, yeah, and the more and more things I see, it's like he wasn't qualified to take over. He's just a good shyster. That's all. I mean, con man. He should sell cars. One of my exes was an excellent car salesman. It was very weird at the age of 22. So he could sell diamond sand in a desert. So that's all the little one is like he just wants the money and the power. So, and he's good at how to get it. So that's what I think personally. My opinion, fair use, my opinion. That's funny. Sitting on defense, that's funny. It's like, I wish I could drive and write, because I was listening to something that made me want to take notes. I'm starting to do my notes again because, typing them into my phone just ain't working, because I don't have that dual thumb action that people have. I've even watched it to see how they do it. I can type, that's it. So I'm going to start writing things down. Not that I don't have a million different pens, because I'm a complete pen freak, and I love the friction pens on top of that. So I even have those in blood red. Is it called blood? I can't remember what color it's called. It was like a limited color. So, and all vampires should have blood red ink. So, yeah, don't you think that since you're a CEO is a little short, that it shouldn't bother you? Oh, and there's this whole thing about Penelope Cruz and Tom Cruise, where he's wearing lifts. I actually looked at the shoes when I was watching whatever it was, and you can tell there are lifts in those shoes. Oh my God, I never thought it was that prevalent. But I personally have even shoes that have lifts in them, but that's not why they have them. They're because of, like Birkenstocks or something. I can't remember what they are. This is a weird one. Look at all those people. Is it my cruise guy just going somewhere different? Yeah, I think he's skipping me today. It looks like my cruise guy. Or my tour guy. So, yeah, they're lifts. It's weird. Yeah, which is an interesting thing to hear about too, is this controversy about his tallness, and Penelope's the same height as him, and it's like they said, I can't remember which one it was, they said also it's like he never had a problem when Nicole was towering over him, but think about the movie they met in, or no, that was Days of Thunder, and then they did Eyes Wide Shut somewhere along the way, and even I haven't watched that one yet because I think it's a little too kinky for mine. So it was like, and he had disconnected, or he had distanced himself. Do you really want to be here? Don't you really want to be outside instead and doing something fun? Like making popcorn or eating ribs? There are lots of good barbecue places in the Bay Area. You should try that. Drinking a soda. Something as simple as drinking a flavored seltzer out here in the nice weather, where nobody's going to bother you about making your quota for the day. Do you ever think of that? I know it's a little inconvenient, but it'd be a lot better than sitting in there volunteering and wasting all of your good organization skills, and all these things you have going for you, and wasting it on a company that all they want is money. It's not the way to go. Just think about it. It's just me
here today doing my usual, telling you how to get out of Scientology without getting pneumonia, dropping dead, or making the org fall apart, because statistically it's impossible. And honestly, the rest of your family are adults. So if you want to leave and your family doesn't, or your husband, they're adults. They can make their own minds up. You can make your own mind up. And if it's more healthy for you to be out here in the real world than being there, being more or less tied down by your relations, then leave. Because that's the best thing you can do. Okay, Pebbles, I gotta go. So I will see you guys tomorrow with the new hair. It'll always be too short, but I love it. I'm glad my Fluff and my Fuzz were here. They helped me boost my confidence. Sounds strange, but real. Moose, squirrels, and a tall building in my future when the Sky Bar happens. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Okay? Maybe we'll be on a ferry tomorrow. I doubt it now because it's not Pride Month and it's the first week. So the triangle should go up on the hill. That'll show you. And a big pink triangle. And people just getting here because it's the beginning of the month. So Fuzz, yeah, thank you. And you can always watch me on the replay, then go room raid Love is Love on a replay there. So that's what I did today, and I even said it when I did it. I said, I'm watching Natalie on a replay, now I'm going to Maryland on a replay. So you can always do that. So go to Love is Love and SLC and go watch their live and enjoy yourself. Have fun tonight, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Yes. Yes, tell them I sent you, and before you leave, subscribe and like. Thank you. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Ciao, Bellas.